Thanks for getting back on bed. Oh, I know.
So you're just gonna have me give me your address again before I.
Reyes that you have a conversation very early in the season. Do you think that's just natural, or part of that also because it has to be first step into how?
Well, I think it's twofold. Number one, around here we worry about our team. And Jose is no longer on our team. But, I know that there's a lot of guys that still stay in touch with him, so he hasn't we've forgotten. But, our shortstop's played pretty good. So we're very, very fortunate that he's had the kind of year he's had, because had he not had it, I'm sure there would have been a lot of people trying to draw comparisons or certainly concerned that we didn't re-sign Jose. But fortunately, Ruben's played as well as he has.
Josh.
Best that you can, Terry, just update the bullpen situation, latest on Byrdak, and what your expectations for Garrett Olson would be.
Well, we're going into this, not just this series, but certainly the Atlanta Braves series, we thought we should have another lefty in the bullpen, and Garrett had a very good outing the other day. He's pitched pretty well out of the bullpen, so he was the choice from the guys in Buffalo to come up and fill that role. I mean, you head into the Atlanta series with all those left-handed hitters they have, you better have some help for Josh, so that's why he's here. Certainly, I tried to call Tim Byrdak today after I got the news about how bad his shoulder is, and certainly feel terrible for him. He's he's done nothing in the last 2 years except take the baseball and gone out and got big outs for us. I just hope that he comes out of it okay and can resume pitching.
We get back to Ruben just for a second. I mean, when he came to spring training, I mean, the tendency was, well, is he replacing Jose? And you guys try to temper that and work with that. But he's a lot of poise. Can you talk about his year and how you think he's even developed from the point where he knew he was going to replace Jose?
Well, Rich, it's tough to talk about a guy that, everybody that has ever had this kid has spoke very, very highly about his maturity level, no matter what his age is. And that speaks volumes as it's helped him play the way he's played this year. I mean, he accepts who he is. He doesn't try to do more. His ceiling offensively is out of sight. He's a good hitter. I think he's going to learn how to hit some balls out of the ballpark as he continues to develop. But he's a sound defender. You just got to keep him on the field. I mean, he's a very, very valuable piece to the puzzle here.
Terry, as far as Byrdak's situation, I mean, we've heard you a number of times say that you felt like you used him a lot, that the workload on him was too much. Do you feel at all that there's some cause and effect here?
Well, I don't think there's any question. I mean, injuries are caused by overuse. I've had and doctors have told me. I mean, I've had too many doctors say when they're going to break, they're going to break. There's not much you can really do about it. And Tim's been the one guy who, is taking great care of himself, takes great care of his arm, doesn't overthrow. Even pre-game stuff, he tenders the amount of throwing he does before a game. So, it's just the fact that he was in that role that he was, where he's had to go out there a lot. So I certainly, there's no question that we probably used him more than maybe we should have, but he also wouldn't be here without him.
How much of internal discussions were there about, even since spring training, about the idea of having a second left-handed option in your?
Well, there was a lot. I mean, we talked about it a lot, even in spring training. We just didn't have too many options. So, as I've said before, it's one thing to have two left-handers in the bullpen, but if that other second lefty down there can't get left-handed hitters out, he doesn't do you any good. The only thing you want him to do once in a while is see if they'll turn the lineup over, turn the lineup around, bring some, pinch hit. But everybody's got the same numbers we have, and there's certain guys that we face, left-handed relievers we face, I feel very fine against with my left-handers in the game. So, and to me it's about good stuff in the bullpen. That's what gets people out, whether you're left or right-handed. So, you know, Tim was that guy, our choice, and we had to ride it.
Terry, will you be more inclined now to use Olson as you've been using Edgin, maybe more than an inning, face some right-handed hitters and try and limit Edgin to as close to exclusively left-hand batters as you can?
Well, we'll try, but again, you know, when you play the Braves, you know, you've got a situation where you may have, and I don't know what their lineup's going to be, but if you got to get, you know, Hayward out, followed by McCann, followed by Ugla, followed by Freeman, you're going to probably have to pitch through Ugla. So, you know, that's certainly, if that's going to win the game for us, or certainly probably have to save a game for us, you know, Josh is going to have to do that job. But certainly in the case of Garrett Olson, because he has been starting all year, he's certainly had to get a lot of right-handed hitters out. So he will face more hitters than Edgin will.
And I know we don't talk about it much with relievers, certainly not as much as starters, but given that Edgin is just a year removed from A-ball and has relatively little experience, are you going to kind of watch the number of innings and pitches he throws more than you might ordinarily with a situational reliever?
Yeah, we're gonna try to make sure we're a little cautious with him at the end. And again, certainly the Braves are the one team you concern yourself with. But you bring him in to face that one big out in the 8th inning that you got. That's a left-handed hitter. That's what Josh is going to end up doing.
Is Rob Johnson playable, and who's your emergency catcher?
Well, he can catch. We're going to see how he is during batting practice, but the doctors have said that certainly he can catch and throw. It might hurt him to swing the bat, but he is playable.
And who's your emergency guy? If it comes to that.
Garen, I guess. I don't know who it's going to be. I mean, Turner said if we needed, he'd go back there. I think Ronnie Cedeno said that was me. He got a bullpen last week, so we aren't going to get to that guy. I'm sure.
Any other one, guys, please? Roger.
Do you envision changing any of the philosophy about who you play in left, whether it be platoon or just keep riding back?
Well, we're gonna make some, certainly depending on who's on the mound, some adjustments out there. We've got to get our left-handed bats in the lineup. That certainly is. Those guys have given us good opportunities to win some games. And they're having some pretty good years. I want to make sure they get out there. So we'll depend, matchups who we want in left field. But right now, Jason Bay he's going to play tonight. Tomorrow's guy's been pretty tough on righties with his breaking stuff. So I may not tomorrow night. I looked in the weekend. I think we got a couple lefties coming up this weekend. So Jason's going to get plenty of the bats to get it going.
Just to elaborate that out a little bit, Terry, has the mindset changed with Jason in the sense that you will try to play more matchup than just playing him every day in that sense, you think?
Well,
have you talked to him about that?
I'm going to, certainly Jason and I are going to sit down and have a conversation about how we're going to proceed forward. Unfortunately, I've been doing other things today. I haven't been able to have that conversation yet. So.
Anything else, guys? Good.